if any of you were ever wondering this, what is a cubit? A cubit goes from, well, I imagine my arm's going to be a little longer than a normal cubit, but nevertheless, from the tip of your finger to your elbow. Cubit is just the Latin word for elbow. So you have to figure it's between, say, 18 inches and 2 feet. I don't know that we have to be too precise there. Some people have tried to really nail it down, say 1.85 inches, whatever the case. I usually just go with 18 inches. So that means that they're 450 feet tall. So these are huge. And so what's it picking up off of? Well, verse 2, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man. So before I get into the fallen angel stuff that I think it's picking up on that tradition, let me at least give you two other just very, very brief readings. For those of you who are allergic to these mythological readings, let me give you 2 readings that maybe you won't be allergic to, that are far more literal, and it doesn't have to do anything with fallen angels and daughters of man. The first one, they would see that the sons of God, they associate that with the offspring of Seth. And Seth is the child that is born to Adam and Eve after Abel has been killed. And so that's what it refers to. These are, what would I say? These are maybe righteous people versus the daughters of man, which they would associate with Cain. So it would be the offspring of Seth and the offspring of Cain coming together there. That's one understanding. But the sons of God, the Hebrew here, the sons of God, the word used for God here is Elohim, which is gods, plural. And the rabbis would see that as something along the lines of the sons of princes. So these are the rulers of the world. So again, they're not employing that mythological reading with this one type of reading. If it's the sons of God or the princes and rulers of this world is that they're referring to. Okay. I'm reading it in a Second Temple apocalyptic way, where I think these are the sons of God, these fallen angels, again taken from First Enoch, the Watchers, Jubilees as well. And the reason why I think this is important is because then what you actually have here at this moment is something outside the bounds of creation. If you go back to Genesis 1, you remember how distinct God keeps things. He separates light from dark, water from earth. Even by the time we get to Ha-Adam, he'll separate male from female. This is this is very much part of the priestly tradition. I mean, you just think of Leviticus, where one doesn't even mix fibers with regards to their clothing. All right. So then what do we have here? Well, then what we have is something outside of the order of God's creation. And not only that, but the tradition tells us that this generation of people, they loved injustice and unrighteousness. They wouldn't do what was right. And in some ways, I think you can see within Judaism, Second Temple Judaism, justice is often, what would I say? Justice is often imagined in a very orderly way. So to set things right, to set things just, is to put them in the proper order of the cosmos. So if these are the sons of God, these fallen angels who are mating with daughters of man, and this is an offspring, this is something completely outside of the bounds of creation itself. They've instituted a new order. And in some ways, they aren't doing justice. Everything has become, what would I say, even more depraved, even more unjust. So that verse 5 tells us, and the Lord saw that the evil of the human creature was great on the earth, and that every scheme of his heart's devising was only perpetually evil.